Alright, we'll have these wolf hunters, and actually, why don't we try and grab these wolf hunters as well? All of you, get over here. War cry. And attack. Oh, the Grim Spears are running. Okay, guys, welcome back. So we just have a few things to go over really quick before we go into the battle for the turn. Not much has really happened up here, except I did just want to point out that Becca is actually being a very good governor for Swanfleet. Basically, we managed to... Oh, actually, I didn't need to click on all that. We've managed to actually minimize the garrison quite a bit, though I am still going to build up some happiness buildings, just to keep public order good there. The troops that used to be at Swanfleet have now been sent, or, well, most of the troops that were at Swanfleet have now been sent to Tharbad. And I'm thinking once this barracks is finished being built, we're actually going to try again to actually convert Tharbad over to the Ways of Darkness. Simply because I think that'll help overall with public order, hopefully, and maybe make it so that Tharbad doesn't need quite such a hefty garrison itself. And also because I just want to clear away all this filthy Dúnedainic filth as much as possible from my lands. I've already done the North and Southgard fortresses too. So we could do Tharbad first, and then maybe if that's a success, we could actually do the same over at Swanfleet. Because they actually have, well, most of the Ways of the West too, and it should be pretty easy to start the conversion process. And actually, now that I think about it, I believe this is another one where I made a mistake and built up the Ways of Darkness building too much, and we had major public order issues. So yeah, that was a problem. But anyway, that's what's going on up there. The last army that we are currently training up before halting military recruitment is now finished. Bayoka is in charge of, I guess, maybe I should just call it something more neutral, like an auxiliary army, rather than the patriotic army. That still doesn't sound very Tolkien-like, but I think at least it's not very 1984-like, by calling it like the Great Patriotic Army or something. I've decided to send them down this way, through into Gondor, basically because it takes so long to get new armies down here that I figure, since I have a quote-unquote spare army, I should send them down there just so that there's extra troops there. And I think the other fronts should be good with their current forces. Now we are sending Bewa, who is a new governor that we've trained up, to Lymphalas. Because unfortunately, Hrock the Hunter, who was the previous governor, is dead of old age. Now, you may be wondering, why do I care? Who the heck is Hrock the Hunter? And you guys probably don't know him at all, because I never really pointed him out, but I just remember him because he was the first terrible governor that we had. And that's how he will be remembered for all time. Basically, it was somewhat early on in the game, and he wasn't a good commander, he wasn't a good governor, but I wanted to put him somewhere. So I just, at the time, Lymphalas was basically like one of the furthest outreaches of my, well, I guess I don't know that I would call it an empire at that point, but my territory. It was the furthest outreach of my territory, and so I was like, well, he's a terrible governor, so let's just send him as far away as possible, and so I sent him to Lymphalas. Now, since then, we've had any number of terrible governors. We've got Wolf here, who is inept, and we've got Dega, who is also inept, and like Hrock, following in the great tradition set by Hrock, they were sent to the farthest reaches of the Empire so that they'd be, I guess, the most out of our way. There was always a hope that they might grow into their roles, but I don't know. I think they've actually gotten worse, because I don't remember them being inept. I thought maybe they were just incompetent. Well, anyway. Oh well. They're there now. But anyway, that's why I remember Hrock, because he was the first terrible governor that we had. They won't say that at his eulogy, but that's literally why I remember him. So anyway, that's it for basically this area. Military recruitment has kind of stopped, except for, again, new governors, since we have quite a few settlements that don't have any. I'm just trying to see if I can get a few good governors out of Dunfrecca and Dunhold. With somewhat mixed success, we've had terrible characters like Brida here, who is inept in every sense of the word. We have had poor commanders and poor governors like Carda here, though, again, I'm hoping that... Dang, you see, I was hoping with a couple of victories under his belt, he might grow more into his role as a commander, but he is also unintelligent, so maybe not. Oh, I see, and we actually have various Axeman mercenaries here. Some of those look quite nice, actually. We'll come back to that in a moment. No, actually, we'll talk about it right now. So, after I took Woldburg and Easthold in a single turn, and actually we took Linhir in the same turn as well, basically I got a sort of, what's the word for it? Negative reaction from the rest of the populace. I'm sure I mentioned it in an earlier episode, but basically if you take a province but don't have the dominion building for it yet, I think it causes negative public order and negative, well, to your income, like negative trade income or something. Actually, I might actually say it right in here. Yep, it says so right here. Possession of settlements that lack a homeland, fiefdom, or outland dominion building will cause penalties to public order and income across all provinces you own. And these penalties are cumulative, so rapid conquest without integration will cause ever-increasing unrest and financial disarray. And so by basically taking 3 settlements at a single turn, I actually caused riots to occur in Entwade and Dol Amroth and places that already had somewhat low public order, and I had to kind of really shift things around to keep them from rebelling. But fortunately, the very next turn, Tarnost and Ethring actually finished their dominion buildings, and Calambel, I think, was the turn before that. So things kind of quieted down after that. And Dol Amroth is actually going to have its dominion building in just another turn there. So again, trying to calm things down a bit. Basically, what I'm saying is that I need to be more careful with future conquests. I'm thinking that basically as a settlement builds up a dominion building, like Dol Amroth is going to build one next turn, or finish one next turn, then we can safely move on and take one more settlement. And, once these two get their dominion buildings, we could take 2 more settlements, just to kind of try and, again, keep things under control. Unfortunately, that does mean that conquests are going to be slow, because the dominion buildings actually take quite a while to build up at this point, but I don't see how else I could proceed. So what has happened then is Alka, with his army, is now standing on this ford, because as you can see, the Kingdom of Adunabar is now bringing forces over to this side. Meanwhile, Carda and his mercenary forces are now standing on this ford. So now there's no way for an enemy to cross the river here, which I think this is the Anduin. I don't think they can cross the Anduin now without facing one of our forces in what I hope is a good position. Ford battles have typically been to our benefit, but there have been some cases where it hasn't quite been to our benefit. I am also slightly concerned that having Carda standing here is actually going to tick off the Beornings. They were bringing these troops down here, but I think they were bringing them down here. They were bringing them down here before he actually stood on the ford. In fact, it was his very turn that he moved to the ford. So I'm thinking they were actually bringing them down here in response to the forces from Adunabar. And yes, this does mean we're actually going to leave Rohan, the last of their, well, I was going to say the last settlement, but we already took their last settlement. This is just a fort. The last of the Rohirrim are holed up here at Greenwood Watch. And I guess they're going to stay that way unless Adunabar takes it, or unless, I guess maybe I take it at some point. But for now, again, just because we can't really do any conquering right now, we just need to hold the line up here in the north. Oh, and actually, I think while I was looking through these armies here, yes, there's that unit that I was mentioning a few episodes ago, the Woodman Bow Levies, which, as you can see, they're from Mirkwood, now Greenwood. And that's what tipped me off that Adunabar must have territory up here near Greenwood in order to recruit those troops. I couldn't point out the unit before because I couldn't find it again, but there, I found it again. Now, this actually kind of might work to our benefit, though, because Adunabar, I think, is actually having to split its forces. Like, there's not so many armies here as there were, and I can't help but notice that armies seem to be going north. So what I'm hoping is that Adunabar splits up its armies enough that we can start punching through one place or another. So, like, if they take away most of the armies here, there's only, like, maybe 2 left, we can push through this way. Or if they, I guess, stop massing forces up here, we can attack in this direction, or even down in the south. We have 3 fronts, basically, with Adunabar, where there are armies that could, you know, push through and let them have it, which is what we would like to happen. Very much so. At the same time, we can hold the line in any of those 3 fronts. Well, 2 of them. The third one we'll come to in a moment. Because as you can see, we have the fords here, and we have the bridge here. So whether we attack or whether we defend on a given front is kind of up to us. Up to us to decide. All right, but anyway, now it's time to talk about down in the south here. So Worth was going to be sent to Dol Amroth to be the governor, but then I realized, and I think I pointed this out in an episode or 2 ago, that basically he wouldn't be a good... Oh, wait a minute. He has increased public order. Interesting. I actually thought he had 2 traits that were actually bad for public order. He actually only has 1. Interesting, interesting. So, wait a minute. Did I misread it last time then? Because I swear he had 2 negative traits for public order, but no, it appears he has only 1, and the other one is actually a positive for public order. Well, I guess what I was going to say was I was going to send Worth to Tarnost instead, because, well, for one thing, it's kind of on the front lines, and I feel like having a governor there would be good. But also, it has such high public order that if he decreased public order, it wouldn't be so bad. Especially once he became attuned and stuff, it would hopefully increase. He's also not a terrible governor. He's a competent governor. So he's not going to have, like, some terrible, like, negatives to, like, trade or anything. In fact, I think, yeah, competent basically just means neither negative nor positive. He just is kind of there. And he is intelligent, too, so I figured that would also, you know, hopefully he would maybe grow into his role more. And I guess maybe that's happened? I'm seriously going to have to check, like, the footage from last time and see, like, did I just misread that? Did he have a trait? Did he have a negative public order trait here and I just didn't notice? See, those, yeah, so those are his commander traits. Or maybe it was down here. Huh, okay, no, it doesn't look like it. I'll have to check the footage later. Now I kind of want to send him to Dol Amroth. Because what I was going to do was actually have this new governor, Akka, go down there. Now, he's a poor governor, and that's unfortunate. But he's generous, which increases public order. And he's considerate, which also increases public order. Though I now see there's a -2 to law there, which I think would actually lower public order. I'm assuming that the increase to public order offsets the -2 to public order that would come from less law. You see, I was going to send him there because I figured 2 traits that increase public order would be good for the place. But now I almost think I should send Worth there because he's a poor governor, Akka is, and he's not intelligent, so I'm not really expecting him to grow into his role. Maybe I should send him to Tarnost instead and have Worth go to Dol Amroth. Well, you know what? I could just have Worth go there, and if he, like, severely lowers, like, public... Whoops, not that. If he severely lowers public order there, then maybe I'll just send him to Tarnost then, and then I'll have Akka take over instead. And if he's fine there, then I'll have Akka go to Tarnost instead. All right, but anyway, that little thing aside there, as you can see, here's the battle we're going to fight this turn. Basically, a sizable force from the Kingdom of Adunabar has come down here and besieged Linhir while Waka was still inside. Now, Waka's going to step out, obviously, and attack them, but this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where it looks like Adunabar is having to split off its forces to attack on different fronts, and this is basically the third front here. And we actually don't have this front bottled up the way that we have the other two bottled up, though I think we could. Because basically Linhir is blocking the ford down here, but then there's two fords up here, and we have Lawa, who has spent, many turns, traveling down here now, but he's basically arrived. So we could have him stand on, say, that ford there. Actually, is this all in the same province? Oh, yeah, it is. West Lebanon. Okay, and this is my own territory anyways. So yeah, we would have him stand, say, right there, and that way between Linhir and that ford, we would actually bottle up this front as well. Again, stopping Adunabar from advancing, and then just advancing when it suits us, basically. Like, depending on how Adunabar splits up its forces to try to meet all these different fronts that we've basically got open now. Of course, it also does somewhat depend on how badly Waka's army gets beaten up in this fight. Because I imagine it's going to be beaten up. They have considerable forces here, and I can't really see the quality of them all. Some not so good, some very good by the look of it. But anyway, that is the status of the Empire. And so now, without further delay, let us go ahead and lift the siege of Linhir. Yeah, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. Wow, they have a lot of infantry. Oh no, they have 3 cavalry units. Actually, 4 probably, because I imagine his bodyguard, yes, is a cavalry unit. And they have, let's see, 1, 2... Okay, they only have 3 units of archers. That's actually a good thing. Especially since one of them is already pretty badly beaten up, and I'm pretty sure the Snaga hunters will basically just disintegrate under any fire you throw their way. Might be able to use that to our advantage. Alright, but anyway, let's get right into the battle. Okay, guys, welcome to the battle. And I'm actually going to have these guys run. So basically, here's our setup. We've got the mercenary swordsmen pouring out of the gate facing the enemy. And the reason I've done that this time, well, first off, they're only going to line up right here. The reason I'm having them do this is because we have the ballista towers, which will assist us if they actually try to charge us here. And we also have all 4 of our archer units up on the walls, and they can, of course, assist us as well. In fact, I'm kind of hoping to maybe in some way lure some of the enemy over here so that we can shoot them. Though I'm not sure if they'll actually really go for that. Now, over on the left side here, we have our what I call our second line, because these mercenary swordsmen are our front line, and they're the sort of sacrificial line, right? Because they're the filthy Dunedain. And then our back line here, which consists of basically the troops, the Dunlandian troops we have left over, which admittedly is fewer and fewer with each passing battle, plus what's left of the Gondorian armsmen mercenaries. And so they're going to come up this side here. Then, of course, on the other side here, we have the cavalry. We've already mostly poured out of the gate here. And again, we're covered by these ballista towers in many ways, so I'm hoping we can get all of our troops out there without too much issue. In fact, we already have most of our troops out of the settlement. It is a little unfortunate, though, that they're not really coming forward. I mean, even a little bit, because now it might be worth my while to actually take the archers off the wall and have them exit the settlement, too, so that they can join us in the fight. The enemy is quite far away. Quite far away from the walls, though even as I say that, they're now approaching. I mean, okay. Okay, so they're just pushing their line forward right about here, though. They're not really coming all that far forward. Alright, and that gate's closed. Alright, excellent. So now let's have them approach. Or let's not. I think it might be worth our while to probe their line a little bit. Yeah, I don't want to hit the berserkers with my cavalry. Oh. They're bringing their cavalry right on over here. Alright, let's have these guys prepare to fire at will. They will get shot by the ballista towers as they go by. Those are arrows. I forgot that Linhir had arrow towers, not ballista towers. Oops. And anyway, that minor thing forgotten about. Our archers cannot hit them yet. Yeah, that's interesting. They don't seem to be charging forward per se. They're just kind of lining up near the forces that are over here. Okay, there's the Snaga hunters. You know, we might be able to charge our units over there then. Alright, you know what? The archers are approaching, so why don't we retreat back here, because otherwise they're just going to shoot us. Okay, but now they're retreating, so maybe we shouldn't retreat all the way back. Let's kind of approach again. Dang, I didn't think they would just retreat back to their lines if we pulled back just a little bit. Because I actually liked having their units kind of split up like that, with some facing the forces over here, and some facing my forces here in the front and along the side there. Oh, now they're coming back. Alright, we actually can shoot at their dark bows at least a little bit. And of course the tower's already firing as well. In fact, why don't you guys just fire at will for now, so that even if we can't hit them elsewhere, we can throw your spears directly into those guys there, please. I think the Horsemen of the Shades are the ones that I'm most worried about, to be honest. Oh, and actually the Dunabar nobles as well. Oh, the dark bows are actually kind of pushing forward here. Go ahead and throw your axes again. You guys get back over here. Are you guys out of axes? You are. Alright, so I want you to shift a little bit to the left here then, just to kind of anchor that flank a little better. With the enemy kind of staring at us there. You guys stop. A war cry. They assume that enemy unit is going to hit us here in a moment. Oh, shoot. Get back up on the wall. I forgot to tell them to go into guard mode. Right. Guard mode. Alright. Let's grab the mercenary swordsmen over here and have them rush over here. Oh, turn around, attack them. Actually, let's pull these guys off back here. No, run, guys, run! Alright, you guys, go ahead and stop where you are, and then go ahead and throw your spears at whoever presents themselves as a target. Alright, you guys attack the Snaga hunters. And you guys just kind of line up over here. Alright, that's most of our troops, to be honest. So let's pull the cavalry forward just a bit. Stay right over here so that they can rush a little more quickly over to assist us. Actually, you guys no longer fire at will. Alright, now let's push the Axemen forward as well. Let's get these wolf hunters forward. Oh wait, those are dark swords. Turn around and attack them in the side. Or in the rear. Actually, you Axemen attack them as well. Alright, you guys pull back, because otherwise you might get obliterated. Can't have that. You guys also pull back kind of over here. You guys fire at will if anyone presents themselves as a target. Alright, let's reform our lines over here. And let's have our mercenary swordsmen also form up. In fact, actually, let's send the mercenary swordsmen back to their original position. Just to keep the enemy guessing a bit. And then we'll have these guys form up like so. Alright, we eliminated a pretty good portion of their forces here. Oh, wait a minute. Go get those dark bows. Alright, so what have they got left now? Those guys are all fleeing. Oh, they've got Uruk Berserkers charging forward. Okay, but we still have our archers firing at will, though, so... Oh, and I think they don't have good armor, so they'll probably get obliterated by the bowmen. Actually, that wasn't very much damage. I wonder if they actually do have good armor. Alright, they've only got 4 guys left there. Actually, I think our axemen are going to catch them, because they're very tired and we are merely winded. Come on, kill that last guy! Okay, good. Now you can just return to your place in line. Alright, so now they've done what we did before and are basically facing both sides. Let's see, do they have any archers left? No, I don't think they do, because that's a cultist unit back here. Unless one of these units turns around. Yes, because these are all archers. Oh, no, wait. That guy's not an archer unit. But, alright, well. That actually went pretty well. See, do you have spears on this side? No, you have those macemen and you have the dark swords, plus you have those guys. Okay, these guys are spears. I'm almost thinking now what I'd like to do is have these guys charge this flank here, have the mercenaries charge forward as well, and have the cavalry basically flanking on the side here. Winded, fresh, warmed up. These guys are doing pretty well. Some of them are winded, but let's go ahead and we'll just walk our guys forward here. Actually, we'll have them a little more over here. Face those guys, and then we will walk these guys forward. Face those guys. See, the cavalry is quite fast, but I still want them to kind of move at least a bit. Why don't you go over there? And of course the enemy is now shifting its lines a bit. Okay, hurry up and get into a better position. You know, I wonder if... Yeah, I think they're just going to attack this line again, so maybe we should have our mercenaries turn around. Oh, no, they're changing their mind. As the archers fire on them. Alright, slowly advance again. You guys slowly advance as well. I don't like that the cavalry is now... Actually, the Kingdom of Adunabar noble unit is actually increasingly being damaged. There's not a whole lot of them left. I somehow doubt they started off with 22. I think they tend to be... They tend to have more guys than that. Okay, dark swords and macemen. Okay, so no spearmen on that side. Oh! Charge forward. Right, and the archers are going to stop firing because they're engaged with our troops anyways, so there's no need to tell them to stop firing. Alright, let's see if we can take out this unit of macemen. Here, you guys go ahead and charge in. You guys go off to the side here, and Waka, you kind of go off to the side over here. You guys attack... Oh, actually, line up over here. And then we'll have these guys line up over here. A war cry, and then charge. Wow, winning easily. Actually, they are. Holy smokes. They're actually slaughtering my cavalry. All right. You guys get out of there, and... No, I said run. And then you guys get out of there as well. Okay, good. Now you guys push forward a bit more. You guys charge in down here, and you guys actually charge in dark swords. Yeah, okay, go ahead and try and kill the general. Alright, now let's pull Waka's bodyguard out of there. Whoa. Waka lost quite a lot of his guys, actually. Right, and we just killed off them. Good. You guys get out of there as well. Oh, the archers are assisting by firing on that flank. All right, we'll let them do that then. Okay, you guys charge forward here. And what we'll do is have the cavalry retreat because the spearmen are chasing after them. You guys get over here. Okay, you guys now attack in the rear. these guys over here. Oh, no, no, no. Out of there, out of there. Wavering, broken. Yeah, the mace men are a real problem. Let's get these guys on the side here, and we'll have them attack in the side as well. Oh, get over here. And then war cry. Oh, good. I like having the archers back there shooting at my enemies. And who are these guys? Mercenary swordsmen. Alright, there we go. Alright, you guys just kind of line up over here now. We'll let the archers shoot at them, and we'll bring in the cavalry over here to chase them down. Especially since it looks like the archers aren't going to shoot at them. Nope, the archers are shooting at them. Okay, then pull over there. Alright, have you finished killing these guys? Alright, you have. Alright, what have we got here? We've got mace men and we've got spears. Alright, we'll have these wolf hunters, and actually, why don't we try and grab these wolf hunters as well? All of you, get over here. War cry. And attack. Oh, the Grim Spears are running. Okay, you guys go after them. Mercenaries pull forward. Let's get these Axemen mercenaries in the side over here. They fight the mace men, because they're the ones who are still fighting. And no, they're not. Alright, infantry. You guys can just kind of pull off to the side here. Let's let the cavalry finish them off as much as possible. Oh dear, I think we actually lost quite a few of our mercenary swordsmen. Which I know is kind of the point, but still. Oh, heroic victory. Alright, there we go. Hey, you know, that's actually not so bad when facing a Dunabar. I mean, we killed 2,700 for 500, or just over 500 of our own. We got some decent healing, too, across the board. Actually, quite a lot of our mercenary swordsmen came back. As did a fair number of our wolf hunters. The Gondorian armsmen mercenaries are basically done for. We didn't get a lot of our Axemen mercenaries back either. I don't know, I say actually the healing looks decent across the board here. As does the casualties we inflicted on the enemy. I mean, as many casualties as those Axemen took, they dealt far more than they lost. In some cases, holy smokes, look at this mercenary swordsman unit. 260 for 14. I imagine they must have killed like a bunch of guys as they were fleeing or something. That's like way too many. The same with like these wolf hunters. That's a lot of guys to kill who are actually like standing up and fighting you, especially since, again, we're facing a Dunabar, so most of those units were like dark swords and the mace men and stuff, so I imagine quite a bit of that is actually men that they drove into fleeing, and then they killed them as they tried to run. All right, but anyway, let's take this back to the campaign map. Ah, and it looks like the survivors actually got to leave. Not that there were very many survivors. Oh, wait a minute. Did the actual commander get away? Oh, ooh. You should have died, my good sir. Okay, but the units that got away obviously have been severely diminished. That's, I think, the word that I would use. Now let's take a look at our own survivors over here. Yeah, some of these guys actually got beaten up pretty badly, but when it comes to the mercenary swordsmen and the cavalry, we can actually have Lawa here just step away from his army really quick and grab replacements. So that's not the end of the world. The end of the world would be things like the wolf hunters, who are definitely just losing all of their guys. I mean, they're not losing like tons per battle, but there's also no way to replace them down here. So as they get lower and lower in number, that's just kind of it for them. There's no more to be had. Same with the archers, but they don't seem to be taking nearly as many casualties. I mean, in that battle, they participated, and actually they killed, I think, a decent number of them, considering that, you know, they weren't able to fire most of their arrows off, I think. All right, but anyway, that was the only battle that I really had to show you guys. And I've already updated you on the campaign map, so I will just bring you back as more of interest occurs.